Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something that is so fundamental to our lives, the way we talk to ourselves. You know that voice in your head? We're going to go on a little journey to turn down the volume on that harsh inner critic and instead learn some really simple, practical steps to be a bit more compassionate with ourselves. So let's get started by really listening to what that inner voice sounds like. So let me ask you this straight up. Just think back to the last time you made a mistake. Maybe you dropped the ball at work or just didn't live up to your own expectations. What did that inner dialogue sound like? What was the tone? Just sit with that for a second. And this right here shows us a pretty fascinating and, let's be honest, kind of uncomfortable truth. Think about it. When a friend messes up, we're usually amazing, right? We're gentle, we're understanding, we encourage them. But when it's us, wow, the script just completely flips. We can be so harsh, so critical, so demanding of perfection. Why is there such a huge difference? Well, that gap is exactly where self-compassion can change everything. The amazing meditation teacher Tara Brach has a name for this. She calls it the trance of unworthiness. And that's exactly what it feels like, doesn't it? It's that mental loop where we just feel like we're not good enough, that something is wrong with us. It's like we're at war with ourselves. But the good news is a trance is something you can wake up from. So, how do we start to wake up? Well, our first tool is kind of like an emergency first aid kit for your mind. It's called the Self-Compassion Break, and it's designed specifically for those tough, in-the-moment situations when you feel totally overwhelmed by stress or that inner critic is just yelling at you. And it is beautifully simple, just 3 steps. First up, mindfulness. You just name what's happening without any judgment. Just saying, okay, this is a moment of suffering, can stop that downward spiral in its tracks. Second, common humanity. And this one is huge. You connect your feeling to everyone else by saying suffering is a part of life. This is a powerful reminder that you're not broken or alone in this feeling. And third, self-kindness. You actively give yourself comfort, just like you would a good friend. Seriously, try placing a hand over your heart and just saying, may I be kind to myself. It can feel surprisingly powerful. And here's the key thing. The words aren't some magic spell. You've got to find phrases that actually feel real to you. So maybe this is a moment of suffering feels a little dramatic. How about just, ouch, this hurts, or this is stress? Instead of, may I be kind to myself, maybe what you really need to hear is, may I just be patient right now? The whole point is to be authentic, not to get it perfect. Okay, so we've got our emergency kit for those in-the-moment struggles. But what about when you have a bit more time and you want to go a little deeper? When you're ready to not just manage a feeling, but to gently explore it, you can turn to a practice called the Rain of Compassion. So RAIN is an acronym, RAIN, for a 4-step meditation that helps you walk through difficult emotions with a real sense of mindfulness and care. It was really popularized by Tara Brach, who we heard from a minute ago. So let's break down what each of those letters actually stands for. So the 4 steps are recognize, allow, investigate, and nourish. You can think of it as this gentle path that guides you from just noticing an emotion all the way to actively giving yourself some care. Instead of running away from our feelings, which is what we usually do, RAIN teaches us how to turn towards them with kindness. Let's look at each one. So R is for recognize, and it's as simple as it sounds. It's just about noticing what's actually going on inside your head and your heart. It's like mentally whispering to yourself, oh, there's that self-judgment again, or, this is that feeling of not being good enough. You're just recognizing that you've been caught in that trance of being at war with yourself. Next up, A is for allow. And honestly, this one is a big deal. It means we stop fighting the feeling. We just let it be there. We're not trying to fix it or change it or shove it away. It is such a radical act to just say, okay, this is what's here right now. You're just making space for your own experience, whatever it is. Then we move on to I for investigate. Now, this isn't some harsh interrogation. It's a really gentle, curious exploration. And crucially, it's about feeling it in your body. Where is this emotion showing up? Is it a tightness in your throat, a knot in your stomach? You're connecting with the physical experience of the emotion, not just getting lost in the mental story about it. And finally, we get to N for nourish. This is where we bring in that active kindness. After you've recognized, allowed, and investigated, you just ask yourself, what does this hurting part of me really need right now? And maybe it's a simple phrase like, I'm here for you, or it's okay. And just like with the break, placing a hand on your heart can be an incredibly powerful gesture of care. Okay, our third and final tool today is all about making self-compassion a consistent habit.
Just like you'd go to the gym to build a physical muscle, we can build our self-kindness muscle with a really simple daily journal practice.
And it is so straightforward. Every evening, you just take a few moments to think about your day. Pick one thing that was difficult, a moment where you judged yourself or felt some kind of pain, and you just write about it. Then you process that moment using the same 3 pillars we saw in the self-compassion break, which is great because it helps reinforce the whole habit. So first, you practice mindfulness by writing down exactly how you felt, really giving a voice to it. Then you connect with common humanity by writing about how your feeling is just part of being human, which breaks that feeling of being isolated. And finally, you offer yourself self-kindness by writing the compassionate words you'd give to a friend, but you write them directly to yourself. So we've covered these different tools. Where do you even begin? I think the most important thing to remember is that this isn't about achieving some perfect state of self-love overnight. It's not a destination. It's a practice, a journey that literally begins with one single small act of kindness to yourself. So now you have 3 really distinct tools in your kit. You've got the self-compassion break for when you need that quick, in-the-moment relief. You've got the rain meditation for when you have a little more time and you want to go deeper. And you have the daily journal for building this into a real, lasting habit. You get to choose whichever one feels the most helpful for you right now. Just let that sink in for a moment. It's such a powerful reminder of what's really at stake here. Every time we judge ourselves so harshly, we're the ones breaking our own hearts. But we have a choice. We can choose to start seeing the goodness that is already there. So as we wrap up, I just want to leave you with this one question to take with you into your day. It doesn't have to be some big, grand gesture. Just what is one small, kind thing you can do for yourself today? Thanks so much for joining me.